for posterity. All right, welcome to our third. I guess this is the third Unconquered podcast film review. This time reviewing yet another humiliating performance for Florida State, and we're going to try to break down what, aside from the obvious, where the offensive line played very poorly, happened in this game. So feel free to ask any questions you have or to request any specific plays as we go. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So we got a kickoff, nothing much here. Still not real happy with the state of special teams at Florida State. So here we have first play from scrimmage, and you can see they tried to come in with a few different things in this game that were basically taking advantage of some of the things that you would expect to be able to take advantage of Syracuse's sort of average front, and also trying to minimize some of the weaknesses they have up front, particularly at tackle. So they're doing a little bit more gap blocking. And gap blocking, unlike zone blocking, basically the difference is with zone blocking, the whole line steps generally one direction. Sometimes you'll have a puller. Whole line steps one direction, and the back is then going to basically wait to find the seam and then burst forward. It's basically a cutback run. A gap run is what we're going to see here. Those are your counters, your powers, things like that, where you're usually going to get some sort of double team and then pullers. And the reason that you would want to do that with this particular offensive line group is with a defined gap that you're going to be running through, you can try to focus on, okay, we're going to run to our strength here. This guy is able to block this guy, and we can get a double team here, as opposed to in zone, one guy might get beat at any one time, and we're going to get penetration. So I do think more gap blocking is in the future for this group. I would actually run some veer with this group because of, again, it's easier to teach and deal with at this stage when you've got some weaknesses. But this is just a guard power, guard pull, basically. Or I'm sorry, this is center guard. This is actually Eberle, I think. No, that's guard. Okay, so you're getting Minshew pulls, and then you get a puller from, I guess that's is that Arthur? No, that's Mike Arnold, 72, I believe. So you're going to get him pulling. And this gets blown up from the start. This is not a good sign. When this happened on play one, and usually you put your good plays forward, Taggart's one of those guys. He scripts plays he feels confident in early. And when this is happening right away, this is a bad sign. So what you see here is the left tackle. This is Bello, who had a really rough time. He's supposed to step down and basically block down on this guy, and then the hole is going to be outside of that. You're going to get the guards pulling outside to get into there, but Bello's step is too slow and too soft, I guess, and this defensive tackle gets penetration in a way that should never happen on this play. He gets penetration. Minshew's getting to the second level here, but now instead of the puller leading through the hole, the puller has to take the guy that's already beaten the tackle. Akers has to redirect in the backfield, and now he does a great job just to get 2 yards. That's the kind of stuff that keeps happening. Second play here, this has a chance to be a pretty good play, but again, that left tackle, this time Jawan Williams. I don't know if I thought the other one was Bello, but maybe it was Williams. Is that other one Bello? Oh, no, that was Williams. Okay, I blamed Bello. Bello's in on the next series. So that was Williams there that didn't get it done. Here, Williams abandons his technique. We talked about this last week and the week prior. Watch the shoulders of your offensive tackles, and I'm seeing some questions come in. Watch the shoulders of your offensive tackles. The longer the shoulders stay parallel to the line of scrimmage, the better. If you see an offensive tackle setting and his shoulders start to face the sideline, that shortens the corner, and it makes it much easier on the defensive lineman either to make an inside move, now you've got a soft shoulder to work with, or to just bend the edge and get to the quarterback. And that's what happens here on that left tackle side. Williams gives him a soft inside shoulder because he's worried about getting outside. He abandons his technique here. Kelly's is not great there, but is better. And Francois is about to make a throw to an open receiver here. This should have been a decent gain here to Terry on the curl, and he gets crushed. He's open, and now we finally have our final play of each drive is going to be the third play for a while. Better job by the offensive line and a really poor job in terms of communication. The receiver and the quarterback were on separate pages here. Now, I want you to notice this is what Juwan Williams is capable of. This is a much better pass set. Look at him set back. See his shoulders? He's capable of doing this. When his technique is good, this is actually okay. His shoulders are okay. No, I'd like to see a little better pass set from the right tackle here. But Williams, now that shoulder is not soft because he hasn't opened up. He tries the same inside move. Offensive line gives plenty of time. What's happened here is this is a 4 verts play by Florida State, and I'm pretty sure Gavin's wrong here. What Francois is looking at here is he's looking at basically the matchups, and you've got a safety over the top, so you're probably not going to take a seam route unless one of those guys just comes completely open. So what he's looking for is, can one of the outside guys get over the top? If he's over the top, then you throw it deep. If the DB is playing, if the DB is over the top, so if the receiver's over the top, you throw it deep. If the receiver's not able to get over top and the DB is playing over top, then you throw short, and the receiver should be sitting down at like 12 yards or so, looking for the back shoulder. Gavin never looks back. He should be looking back now. Francois throws the flat ball, should be catching it right about here. And that's what you got. Now, Gavin, I think, just thought he could run by him. And actually, he does. But he does a little too late. A little bit of a miscommunication. And there you go. More special teams suckage from Florida State here. And while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and answer the first question. So first question is from Noel Mercy. What does it mean for a receiver to cover up the tight end? That's a good question. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at a formation here. If we go back to, okay. So this is a good example. So in football, you have to have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage on every play. And the end man on the line of scrimmage is the only eligible receiver on the line of scrimmage. So on this play, the tight end here, that's McKitty, and then DJ Matthews are eligible receivers. The only other eligible receivers on the play are the ones lined up in the backfield. So that would be the two receivers lined up a yard off, and then the quarterback and the running back are both eligible receivers. Obviously, the quarterback is usually going to be the one throwing it. Now, what would happen is if you have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, and now you have an 8th guy step up, and now you have an extra guy on the end, then he's eligible, but now he makes him ineligible because he's covered from the perspective of the end of the line of scrimmage. So the wide receiver is over top of him, covering him, and no player that is covered by a player outside him lined up on the line of scrimmage is ever eligible. So even if you only had 7 on the line of scrimmage and he stepped up, then that would mean that anybody inside of him on the line of scrimmage is ineligible because, again, only the ends of the line of scrimmage are eligible receivers. Everybody else is ineligible. So when a tight end or somebody else is covered, that means that there was somebody outside him on the line of scrimmage. So fairly straightforward. And basically, it's the responsibility of the guys outside usually. But, you may have a formation like this where you want the number 3 on because they may press or do something to the outside guy. But either way, it's the responsibility of the wide receivers to know the formation and to make sure that only one of the guys on their side of the field is on. Now, sometimes you might, for whatever purpose, put 2 guys from the same side up on the line of scrimmage in an unbalanced look. Now, one's going to be ineligible. You might do that in order to run like a jet sweep to that side or something, and maybe to pull a fast one on a defense that isn't recognizing that one of those guys is ineligible, that sort of thing. But generally speaking, you try to make sure that you always only have one guy on that side that's on the line of scrimmage. And if you don't see that, that means that one of the receivers blew it. And really more than one, because they should be paying attention to who else is on. So, if there's only one guy if there's one guy that's on and then the other guy looks and he's on, they should be looking at each other and going, wait, whoa, okay, you step off. And at least then you have communication. So now we're going to get to defensive stuff. And this actually looked pretty good. So we're going to get a star blitz from the start. They're expecting a run. This is definitely a run look from the defense, stepping inside, and that's good from the right side of the of the defensive line and from Woodby collapsing down here. I'd like to see a little bit better fill here from the Mike. So what you have is everybody slanting here to make room for the blitzer. And that means the Mike has this backside A gap where they're running a similar play to what Florida State actually ran. This is just a tackle guard power. And you want to see the Mike come straight down to where that back is coming. The back instead hits it up that A gap, and Jackson isn't quite in position. As a result, it ends up being a pretty good gain. And there was a lot of that from the backers all game. Another thing that I really don't like, watch DeKalon Brooks here. You see the backside guard does a good job of doubling and then working his way up, and he gets his hands on DeKalon Brooks, and I don't like seeing DeKalon Brooks catching contact that deep. He's got to step up and be in here. He should have been another 2 or 3 yards upfield making that tackle. And see, this is a good example of what's going on here. You notice what's happening. They're shifting their formation. See him signaling here for Syracuse, the inside guy. He's hollering at the outside guy in the line of scrimmage, get off, so I'm not covered. This is what you're supposed to see, communication. And then he steps off the line so that you don't have a covered receiver inside. And then they run hitches, and Florida State does a good job getting rush here. Nice. One thing I'm really happy with about Harlan Barnett's defense so far is they're doing a good job of not showing blitz way too early like Kelly's defense has tended to. This is good attention to detail in terms of execution. And this caught him off guard a little bit. DeKalon Brooks has good timing here. And you see him go unblocked, and as a result, Dungy gets out and has to throw it away. That's good play. Good job by the defensive end there. That's Janarius doing a good job in terms of contain, forcing him wide. That's good play, and that's good play calling by the coordinator. Now this here, they're gonna bring pressure, but Syracuse does a good job picking it up. It looks like basically the same blitz. They do a better job picking it up. They're in slide right. So what they're doing is, in order to pick, they're anticipating that there might be a blitz, so they're sliding their entire line to the direction that the blitz might come, and they do a good job of picking that up as a result. But Florida State actually drops Brian Burns here, and Burns does a really good job taking away the hot. That against a less experienced quarterback, that's a pick six. Most quarterbacks are throwing this hot right now, and Burns gets his hands on that and may run away. This is one place where I'd like to see Woodby do a little bit better job in terms of redirecting. Get your hands on that guy. Get your hands on him. At least, see right here, he's looking to do it. Now that may be because of his shoulder a little bit, but you need to push him a little bit, make him move another couple yards here, and then expect the curl. And he's got to do a little bit better job of expecting that. So he forces a bad throw, but this should have been caught. I'd like to see a little more contact there. And again, there's no 5-yard zone in college. You need to press that guy. You need to get your hands on him and redirect, and then force that to be a more difficult window. Dungy throws a little off platform. Fortunate that that's a bad throw. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and you got fair catch. Hey, at least they're catching punts this year. All right, next question while we're doing it is, is there a difference in body types between offensive tackles and offensive guards? Why does Florida State have so many problems at that position? And yes, absolutely, there tends to be a difference in body type between offensive tackles and offensive guards. Main difference is that offensive tackles need to be a good bit longer than offensive guards. Hang on a sec. Offensive tackles have to be a good bit longer than offensive guards because they're playing on the edge and usually against much quicker, a little bit less compact defensive linemen. So you're playing against 6'4", 6'5" guys with long arms who are explosive off the ball. What you usually want in an offensive tackle is someone who's got really long arms and who is really fluid in terms of his feet to be able to match and mirror the really quick guys that you're having to block in pass pass coverage or in pass blocking, blocking the pass rush off the edge. You want to have guys that can mirror that with quick feet and as long arms as possible so that you can basically sustain in the passing game against those guys. And ideally, you want someone who has then the ability to sink his hips and still drive. And again, you get a taller guy with length, he's going to have good leverage in the running game. But and usually your left tackle, because he's protecting a quarterback's blind side, is going to be your most fluid offensive lineman in terms of feet. You want somebody who is pretty close to a defensive lineman athletically at that position. The problem Florida State's having is they recruited a bunch of interior guys, and they don't have really a whole lot of offensive tackle body types left on the roster. So if you look at who they had previously, Brock Rubel was 6'8", about 315 pounds. That's really tall, really long, and, has that offensive tackle body type. And he moved his feet fairly well, not too bad, and had pretty good bend. Josh Ball, 6'7", really long arms, very fluid feet, had an NFL prospect at that position. Again, the kind of guy that you want there. Rick Leonard, a good tackle prospect from the day he stepped on campus. Actually, the guy that's most comparable to him on campus right now is already at tackle, and that's Neal, Chaz Neal, built kind of the same way. Really long, has to learn how to use his length and how to get low enough in certain blocking situations and run blocking to be able to do what he needs to do. But he's too young. But once you lost Rubel, once you lost Josh Ball, and Juwan Williams' shoulders are shot, and he's only had about 8 weeks of coaching basically since he's been on campus due to his various injuries. He's only been in pads a little bit. That's a problem. And then you've got Dickerson, who he's 6'6", a little bit stubbier, but good enough feet to play the position. Outside of that, you're looking at the roster, and you got a bunch of guys that are shorter in terms of their arm length. They're not super fast or quick in terms of their feet. You look at these guards, you can't put Mike Arnold or Arthur Williams or Minshew or one of those guys at tackle. They're fine in a phone booth. They can maul. They're sumo wrestlers there, but they're not dancing bears. At offensive tackle, you want a dancing bear. At offensive guard, you want a mauler. At center, you want somebody who is smart and who can hold up enough. So, honestly, my thought, just for what it's worth, I think that the best guys that we've seen so far at offensive tackle, as far as options right now until Dickerson gets back, the best solution is probably to have 59, what's his name, Brady Scott, at left tackle, where he's not been atrocious. He's at least been, getting run over slowly. He's been, a speed bump as opposed to just letting guys run around him at left tackle. And then I would contemplate moving Eberle to right tackle. Eberle's been the best offensive lineman so far, as expected in that. But they've actually got a pretty decent center behind him in Bavion Johnson, who can, he's going to have some bad snaps once in a while, but Bavion can't play the edge. Eberle actually can. He wouldn't be great there, but he'd be better than any of the other options right now. I would think about putting Eberle at right tackle, Bavion Johnson at center, and you might actually do a little bit better. But let's go ahead and get back to the film session. So here we have a fake jet, and now we have a counter. So this is our guard Oh no, guard center. And this actually is something that most centers can't do. So this is guard center pull. And you're going to get a crash from, I guess that's 75. Yeah, that's Bello. Bello's in on this drive. Same block that Williams missed. And Bello doesn't do really well on it. Defensive tackle's still in there, but Akers is able to kind of anticipate that and make the cut. That's a really good run. And because he's able to make that cut, Eberle is able to actually get into the lead blocking role here. Minshew gets on a guy. This is what you're supposed to get the last one. Eberle does a really good job on the defensive back here. Nice lead block, and Akers very nearly breaks this. Just not quite enough given what he's got. So that's pretty good. That's what that should look like for the most part. Minus again this left tackle. You see him kind of come in, feet stop, and then he's on the ground because he's too slow. You gotta have the ability to cut this 3 technique off, and that's poor by the left tackle. But they were able to compensate around it because the other 4 linemen did their job. This is just a kick out to Akers. We won't cover that too much. And here we have a free shot once again on Francois. They have a little twist. So what you have is a twist here, and both linemen do not communicate. The way this is supposed to work on the right side, and actually if you look at numbers here, let's see what we got in terms of play call. I actually think Francois probably should have kicked it out here. I mean, I understand that he's holding on to it to try to get a bigger play, but and actually he's probably right, and I'm wrong on that given what we see here. Yeah, it's because they're in cover 2. That's why. Yeah, so this is the right decision. He's right. Cover 2, you're if you can absolutely wait for this, you hit the middle. But if you look at what's happening here in terms of the tackle guard play, this is where communication and guys who have not played a bunch together come in. The way this is supposed to work is the tackle is coming in to try to occupy the guard enough to make room for the end. And it works because they don't do a good job of communicating on their end. The way this is supposed to work on the offensive line is the guard has to take the tackle initially. And what happens is he feels him starting to move toward he feels the twist. He feels him coming to the offensive tackle side. And so what you do is you move your feet as the offensive guard and you press him with that outside arm toward the tackle. And what you do is you bang shoulders. You want your shoulders as an offensive guard and offensive tackle to be in a line, again, with the line of scrimmage, and you bang shoulders, and when your shoulders bang, he knows that there's a guy coming, and he then pushes with that inside arm and takes that leverage, and now you've passed him off. And when you bang shoulders, he bumps back inside to take whatever twist is coming. So that end is there, and now you've got the guard that ends up on that. That's what you're going to see from good lines. This guy's going to sort of shuffle out, bang shoulders. He takes now the end, presses down on him. He gets picked up by the guard, and that is not what you see here. Instead, the tackle continues to try to block the end here, who does a good job of making it look like it's not a twist, but he's got to have his hand here. And now, because he doesn't actually pick him up, the guard is now occupied fully. And now you have the twist, and both guys wind up getting beat, and you have Francois, who gets hit on the throw, obviously doesn't appreciate that, still throws a good ball, and it's dropped. And this is, again, evidence that it's not all the offensive line at Florida State. This is DJ Matthews just dropping a ball. And this is one you can't drop. This is a big play. He catches this. This is make one guy miss, and he can do that. He makes one guy miss here, and he picks up a block from Gavin, and that's a touchdown. There's a chance that's a touchdown. And all of a sudden, the game is completely different. Florida State's up 7-0, feeling great, and maybe off to the races. Instead, feel sorry for yourself. The pressure's on, and this team has not responded well to pressure so far this year. This would be a good example, by the way, of where a tight end might get covered up. So you have 5 wide, but there's a tight end. If the wide receiver here is on the line of scrimmage, the tight end becomes ineligible. But they did it properly here. So you got 2 on this side, he's off, he's on. You got 3 on this side, he's on, these 2 are off. So that's how that should look. So now you got 5 wide. And Syracuse decides to respond to 5 wide by bringing 5. There should be enough to block them. There's 5 guys. Instead, everybody steps inside. You got a slide left. Let's see. Yeah, I guess a slide left. I don't know. But everybody's there, and Francois just doesn't make a good throw. So what's our best bet here? It might be, yeah, he's predetermined this, that he likes that matchup. It's a slot fade, which makes sense. Matthews runs it okay, but he gets bumped off of it, and that's good coverage. Francois doesn't make a great throw, but it's not much there. It's not a bad call. I like that. And close on special teams, but again, not good. All right, so now we're to the next drive. Defensively, bringing pressure again. And they hit it with a quick pass. Better job this week, by the way, of the defensive linemen and linebackers blitzing, getting their hands up. Burns almost got that one. This is one, though, where I want to see that outside backer, given the blitz that's coming from the other side, and given that I guess he's held by the play action. That's good. That's stick draw. So you got a stick route on the top side, and they're reading this. This is an RPO on their side. That's what this is. So quarterback here is reading the Sam linebacker on the play action. So if he steps to the play action, or if he steps to the handoff, then he pulls it and throws the stick route, which is what he's covering. If he widens to take away the stick route, then he hands it off. There's really no way for the defense to be right here. You just have to have a defensive tackle do his job against the run, and maybe let that backer stay outside just a little bit more. But this is good execution by the offense. Sometimes they do well on the option. That's good. That's good play calling, good design, good execution, and then you get lucky. They don't do what they're supposed to do there. Once again, you got both backers blitzing. Not bad. Poor job by Janarius to get drawn off sides, so now you give him a free first down. And this is I formation running game, by the way, out of their gun look with an H back. So you're going to see here, this is another gap scheme. Double team, pull in opposite direction, so kick out the end, and now you're running basically ISO with the lead. Nice little design there. Good work by the FSU defensive line to compress that. I guess that's Big 21. They had 3 guys on Marvin Wilson here, and it didn't matter. That's where the potential is, guys. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good indicator of what might be in store for the future. And again, that's a good example. You see the cut block coming, get your hands up, because you know that they love that quick game. Great job by Burns getting out there. That's what you coach. You can't get the sack, but get your hands up. And here you get the screen. Poor recognition here. Oh no, this isn't the screen. This is the pick play. This is the shallow. So they've got 3 guys here. He's going to set the pick. He's running a shallow across as a mesh, and he's running the under shallow that is designed to basically get that little pick. And so Levante Taylor has to run around it. He's just not fast enough to get across. That's good design. Sometimes, again, you're in man, you're going to lose that one. Who was that? That's not bad. That's Dontavius there, and that's one of his better plays this game. He had a handful of them. Didn't have the best game, but he played better this game than he has. And see him triggering downhill better, in his gap properly, does a good job of making sure he's not blocked, does his job. That's just stupid by Stanford Samuels third. Had to stop. Had to stop. 3rd and 7, you get the stop. Now all of a sudden, 1st and 10, inside the 20. That's how you lose games. That kind of that lack of discipline. This I don't like. So they're in quarters here. Oh, that's why they blitzed. They blitzed the boundary safety. Somebody's got to get out there. That's on the backer here. He's got to be out a little bit more. Dontavius has to be out there a little quicker. What I don't like also is that he winds up going backwards here against a wide receiver. You should be winning that, young man. Now in on the goal line, this is where it looks like an old Mickey Andrews defense. I love this. Bring in both edges. You know you're going to bring both edges. Everybody knew that in Mickey's day. You ain't running on them because those edges are coming off. They're coming clean. Nice job by the corner there. Once again, nothing in the middle. I'm shocked that Syracuse tried to pound the ball on the inside here. This was a mistake. They should have won this game by 40, and they would have won this game by 35 or so had they actually done the right things down in the goal line. But this, by the way, was an excellent play by Dontavius. So watch how quickly he triggers. This is what they want from their linebackers all game. He finds his hole, gets through it, triggers, makes the tackle. That's expected. That's how you should play linebacker. Good play. So here we have this more of the special teams abomination that is Florida State. And basically it appears that no one's blocking. You have 2 guys on the wedge that do their job and get one guy out, but everybody else is clean. This is really poor. You got 9 here who's turning and looking, and his guy's already run by him. You just can't do that stuff. They're not good on special teams, and right now they're not looking real well coached on special teams, to be honest. All right, and then you get to delay a game out of a timeout in a tempo offense. That's impressive. A little orbit motion here designed to both show you whether they're in man or zone, or to give you a sense of whether you want to throw that screen. Also be a little eye candy for the defense, getting them going the other way. And now you counter tray it. This is counter tray with the H-back. So you're pulling the guard, bringing the H-back, trying to get the edge. And this had a chance. This, I think, Akers actually made the wrong cut. So this actually looked really good. Offensive line did their job. Guard gets him here. Center blocks back. This, by the way, Eberle right here back on the backside. This is what it's supposed to have looked like with the offensive tackles on the other plays, where they just fell down, stopped their feet, and guys in the backfield. This is what it's supposed to look like right here. Now you get the block down. You get the puller. Nice job by 74, pinning the backside linebacker. 6 does a good job here in terms of the of getting the edge. And this is where Akers is just a little early. If he waits just a split second longer, and I'm not going to blame him because he sees the lane and presses it, but because of how this happens to work out with McKitty actually having the outside angle here, if Akers hits it right here, this might score. Now, he might end up getting tackled by the corner. Terry may not get him, but it's possible Terry's able to do enough here. This safety's coming down. Akers gets here, and this might look like one of those Dalvin Cook runs on a counter tray. That's how close this was to popping. I mean, this was just about a yard. If he cuts a yard outside instead of a yard inside, this is popping. This is going a long way. Instead, safety does a great job coming up, gets a Gets a tackle, and now you're 2nd and 13 because of the 2-yard gain instead of a longer gain, and because you were delay a game coming out of the break. So now you're behind the leverage, and the one thing you can't be when you have bad tackles is behind the sticks. So now you're throwing, and they know you're throwing, and they just Florida State's lucky that wasn't a strip sack. Now, they're just coming off the edge hard because they know this has got to be almost certainly a throw. They're dropping everybody else, and they're coming off the edge with the other 4 because they don't need to rush more than 4. They can just beat the tackles. And this is unfortunate from Kelly. He just is a little heavy, and he never regained his feet after the injury. That said, this is also on Francois. See this right here? That's pretty good. That's as good as you're going to get. You got to feel this. Your tackle's still here. If your best quarterbacks at this point, he's going to hit his drop right there. He should be sliding right here. Slide quickly. This is a drill every team does. Every quarterback does. You feel this. You slide up. Give your tackle a little bit of help, because tackles are going to get beat once in a while. Let him bend it. Slide up to here and make your throw in here. There's enough of a pocket to do that. Slide, and if you have to, slide up and over, and now you've bought a lot of time, and you're going to have a guy wide open in the secondary. Instead, he's sitting and trying to make the throw. You've got to feel that, son. If I'm coaching quarterbacks here, I'm telling him, yeah, my guy got beat, but you got to be getting up here. Hitch off of that. You got plenty of space. Hitch up and now make your throw instead of getting your arm hit. And that was I think a iffy decision anyway. He's trying to split these backers and throw right in front of that safety to McKitty. I'm not sure I like the decision anyway, but fortunate that wasn't a strip sack. But that's on both the right tackle and the quarterback. And that's Akers fumbling. Lucky again that got recovered. And more special teams, just, oh God. I don't even want to think about special teams. Another play gets cut off. I'm not going to do a whole lot defensively. Go quickly here. But, you can't ask for much more. The defense is playing really well here. And again, what I really like, you didn't see a lot of this last year. Look at these guys running to the ball. Look at this. Everybody getting to the ball. Well, Marvin Wilson's effort could be a little better there, but everybody else that's thrown horizontally, and everybody else is busting their butt to get there. Good job by the backer. Good job by the safety. That's how you're supposed to play a perimeter screen. Lucky that wasn't. Yeah, that was interference. That's right. So this is Fagan. This is another RPO. Notice the offensive line is run blocking here. They're all run blocking. This is basically zone action on the front side. And then what they've got is they've got these backside slants. And Florida State should be doing a lot of this. This, by the way, is the wrong read by the quarterback. He should be throwing the outside slant here. But what he's doing is he's reading this guy in the box. So as soon as this guy comes, he makes him wrong by throwing behind him. That's what he's doing. It's an RPO where he has the chance to throw to, if he sees grass, he should be throwing to grass. I have this play in our high school offense. I had us add that concept this year where if the quarterback sees grass or sees a blitz or something where there's going to be an extra unblocked guy, we've got some slants, usually on the front side of our plays. This is on the back side of this one, but they've got slants built in to give the quarterback a grass read if he doesn't like the run look. Now, he sees that, but Fagan is up close enough. He really should be coming to the bottom of the screen. Fagan doesn't play it well anyway. He's got to protect that inside leverage. And, yeah, he's saying he wasn't early. He was early. That was a good call. All right. So now back to that run game with the sniffer. And this is essentially, again, that little peel back with the guard. What they're trying to do is this is basically a trap play, but they're not trapping the interior defender. They're trapping the end. This is really an interesting concept. They know that Burns is going to get upfield quickly, so what they do is they trap him with the guard, they block down on everybody else, and then they lead with the H-back. It's a really interesting concept, and they had some lanes with this that they missed. So on this one, this actually should have cut. If the back sees it and isn't running with his head down, this should have cut right here, right off the butt, and that actually has a chance to go for a while. It does later. This is an actual play action. Way too much space. You can't play that kind of quarters look, that much space. Are they in quarters? Yeah, he just gets run off. Yeah, that's Taylor just giving too much cushion. Oh, that's right. They had the ineligible. Let's see if there's somebody covered. I never did go back and look at that. Oh, yeah. Here's the ineligible right here. Down the field, when the ball's released, he's at least what? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. He's beyond 3 yards. There's the point where he's at, because this is what they're given a run block look. He can't be up here. He's got to be right there. That's why that play was called back. Defensive coordinators everywhere rejoice. And they're doing the same mesh concept, it appears, right, with this little pick play in the middle, but they built off of that so that he's getting across quicker, they're thinking, and then it turns into a slip screen with the back. This is really good play calling and good design by Syracuse here. This looks like the same concept that they had earlier, where they're running him all the way across, but instead he blocks the backer, brings the DB with him, and now you have a little screen behind it. So they ran the other one with success, and now they use that to set this one up. And it just happens to be into a blitz, and that's what you got. Was that White on the field? Take note, that is White right here. That is Zaquandre White at linebacker. They need to get more reps from him, that's for sure. Nice job. That is Kyle Myers playing, once again, physical coverage on the outside. Excellent job by him. I don't know how this is not a fumble, though. That's a football move to me, but what do I know? This is a football move. But whatever. And Burns gets a sack. That's going to happen once in a while. Again, sometimes your tackle is just, and notice their tackle just gets surprised by how quickly he gets off. And as soon as you see those shoulders turn parallel to the sideline early, it is over. Nice job by Burns. Not going to cover this one. It's just basically them doing their job. Once again, Florida State a little lucky. So let's get more to failing on offense. Well, play action, just not enough time. And you talk about, let's go max protect. This is max protect. Believe it or not, this is basically max protect. You got an H-back and a running back that stay in, each of which is blocking, and you still gave up pressure. That's bad. Against 4. Where'd the pressure come from? Right tackle and guard. I have no idea what the guard is doing here. They should be stepping, but defensive line. Oh, geez. Why? So look at the right guard. Stepping inside, and then he lets him go and starts hugging the center's back. I don't understand. This is the sort of thing that just, as an offensive line coach, it drives you crazy. Because you've got him. You've got help here on the edge to help the tackle, and now you've got the double team on the defensive tackle. You got the double team, or you got the help from the edge from the tight end to help on the defensive end to help that right tackle. Tackle steps in. You've got a double team here. If you just hold that for a minute, you got plenty of space, and now you've got an easy sit route. This is the same basic read that you saw earlier, where the DB's playing bail over the top. And what do you do as the receiver? You sit and look for the throw. Francois throws the same thing, but he can't throw it accurately because the offensive guard decided to he had his hands on him, but I'm going to pass him off and then you take him. Never mind. Why? There's no need for that. It's super frustrating. So now you get a little motion again, the same thing. Now they're going to set the screen off of this. That's a good look, but nobody blocks. Good idea. This is a great call. Arnold gets out there. Eberle gets out there. Williams gets out there. Eberle doesn't quite get his hands on him. As the center, you gotta be a little better here. Arnold is way too slow to get out here. Arnold never would have gotten to the second guy. But Eberle's just got to get a little bit more of his hand on that. I also don't like that, Patrick was necessary. I mean, Patrick's the guy with the best hands, so I see why they throw to him. But, he's not going to be the best one to make that guy miss necessarily. And the throw, because it turned him around, that kind of screwed everything up. Just nothing went right on that play. It was a good call. Nothing went right. Doing a little box call here based on what the defense is showing. So now they check to what they've got. It's 3rd and 9. I'd be running the ball at this point. But they bring pressure. And Francois at this point, he's starting to come undone. He's been hit enough. Francois is checked out already. As far as I can tell, Francois is not interested in taking that shot and stepping into that throw. He's done. He's already taken a couple shots on ones that receivers didn't help him out, so he's not helping them out. And so he pulls back from that. This is the same four verts concept that they've run on 3rd down on others. It's the same thing he tried to throw earlier. Gavin can't quite get back to it. Poor throw, poor protection. Basically everything's poor. And here we've got the running into the kicker that gets declined. Here's why they declined. There are 2 reasons they declined it. One is they got closer than is comfortable to blocking that. Secondly, he got pushed into the punter, and Taggart was of the view that that if they'd have accepted the penalty, that would have gotten reviewed and called back anyway. So, but they're getting way too much pressure on a lot of different punts, and they're not covering very well. The punt team is, as far as I'm concerned, and it's a disaster. The punt team is, I've got 32 players on varsity right now that I'm working with, so I don't have a whole lot of personnel, and there's some stuff from their punt team that I would have an aneurysm if I saw from my guys. I've seen some of it from my guys, actually. I've come pretty close to some aneurysms this year. Really good job by 12. That's Litton. This is why they're really excited about these young guys. He recognizes his job here. They're in another one of those exotic looks that allows the corner to have some freedom to attack there. Actually, I think they're just this is just a corner blitz. They're in a corner blitz. He does a great job of playing physical. He blows up the running back, the lead blocker, stands it up, and makes the tackle. Wouldn't have seen some of the older guys do that the last few years. This was just fortunate. And this is where you're seeing a little bit of the limitations physically of the freshman. This is Samuel up here, Asante Samuel. Decent press technique. His feet are all right, but then he gets basically just run by. And this is where he's not very big, and he's not the fastest guy, so he'd better be perfect. And he wasn't quite perfect. He was getting run by a bigger guy. That's something it's a little concerning for the future. Final play of the drive for them. Oh yeah, let's watch the one good special teams thing that happened before the bad block in the back happened. So And it's a good call. There's a block in the back there they didn't call, actually. This right here by 26 is a block in the back. He's holding, and that's a block in the back. Should have been called there. So they actually got a break. And this is DJ being pretty good. But they got a break. That should have been a block in the back, inside the 10-yard line. So they got fortunate there that wasn't what happened. I guess they did call that one. That's the one they called. Okay. So there we go. And it's the right decision here to keep. This is inverted veer, I guess. Yeah, this is inverted veer. And Francois he's not quite the runner he was. And this has got to be a better job. I'm not sure what is going on here. This is a total bust up front. You got two guys. You got a miss here. This is just a total whiff. Watch the left tackle. What is he doing? He runs right by his assignment. Left tackle has Mike. Right here. He's got to have him. He goes instead to Will. Because he's going to get kicked out. He's being optioned. You got to block him. Runs right by him. And guess who makes the tackle? Hey, at least he got his hands on the Will. That's progress. Plenty of time, and we have a tight end covered. Here's the problem. You asked the question earlier. Here's where this gets called. It's a good call. He's a man on this side. He's off. He's eligible. You've got a tight end, and there's your culprit. He's on. He's off. He's on. He's covered by him, and this takes away the best offensive play of the first half. Who is that? Oh, that's why he was on. It's a running back. That's 22. That's Rasul. But see, here's the thing. The wide receiver here, he's got to be telling him, get off. You know what formation that is too. This is on more than one guy. You've got to know. He's got to check. Quarterback has to check. There've got to be multiple checks at this level. But here you go, and you get a little Y cross with the tight end. That's good football, except for, the whole illegal formation thing or the ineligible man downfield thing. This is how it should have looked. Now you're just trying to get it out of the end zone so you can punt. Nice little call. Francois or Patrick once again running hard. And again, offensive line actually does a pretty decent job here. And you know what? That might be the best pass set that Bello had the entire game on a draw. I just, oh God. How are you going to, you're going to save your best pass blocking, your best pass set for when you're faking it. Look at that pass set. That right there, that's good technique. That right there, that would be successful every other play against the defensive end. That's good technique from the offensive tackle. We don't see that later when he's whiffing. Good pass set. Keeps his shoulder square, exactly how you're supposed to do it, but it's on a run play where he's just trying to make it look like a good pass set. Why not try to make it look like a good pass set on the actual passing plays? Eberle and Arnold do their job on the front side there. Nice job by Kelly. And I've been impressed by McKitty. McKitty's been better as a blocker than I thought he'd be, but he did get beat a little bit there. He's got to hold on to that a little longer. And then more shenanigans from special teams. So exciting to watch Florida State special teams. You just never know what's going to happen. Nice job by... That's just frustrating. But nice job by Dungy here. So they've got that little play action. They're trying to get it out in the flat here, and Florida State takes it away, but with pressure. It's supposed to be a screen. That's really frustrating from Dungy, but that's ineligible downfield too. If that hadn't been illegal formation, it would have been ineligible. And that right there, that's not a good throw. And this is where the defense is not making the plays that they need to make to actually win the game. They're doing well enough to not lose it, but this is one that good pass drops. Mike's there. Get your hands on the ball. You got to catch it. Got a chance to set the offense up, and the defense has just been one little play short of doing the things necessary to set it up. Man, I really like watching Jaden Woodby. This is where they stunted. And Kando looks like he is a shell of himself right now. I don't know what the injury has been. I think it's been something to his leg. But look at Kando moving. This is not the 5-star end that Florida State recruited last year. Not yet. And this is where you got to see Woodby's actually got to get up a little bit faster to get there, but you got to get some pursuit from the other side, and you got to maintain your lane integrity not to give that up. One first down to this point in the game for Florida State. Just playing off. Nice job. I'm going to skip some stuff here. Second 5. Running it Burns. Nice job by the backer. This is where the backers actually got to be a little better, but they still stopped him. If it weren't for Florida State's winning on short yardage, this game would have been really ugly. Nice job by the backer there. And once again, here, good job all around. This is good effort, and you'd love seeing this from the undersized corner, the freshman coming up. Nice job by Brooks, although Brooks spilled it. He should have made the tackle, but he spilled it. Came up short. Defense keeping momentum. Keeping momentum. This is what Florida State's going to need to do more of when it comes to protecting their quarterback in terms of offensive line and all that. When you're struggling out here, first down, to stay ahead of the sticks, you're going to have to do this. And this is the adjustment that they made. Willie's a run-on first down guy. You started seeing more of this as the game went on, and they're going to have to do a lot more of this as we go. And that is just throw the hitch, throw quick game, find ways to get the ball out of the hand. But it doesn't matter. Just kidding, because the offensive line still found a way to hold. I actually think that was a ticky-tack hold, but on Eberle. I think. No, it was on Minshew, actually. Yeah. Oh, that was on Eberle. Okay. 54. All right. Now on long yardage, you need to run the ball. That's the way they're going to have to do it. Long yardage, run it. When it's neutral, throw it. Run it now again. This is the right approach. 2nd and 13, run it. 3rd and 13, or 3rd and 10, run it. That's what I'm thinking. Tackle's held up there. Gavin's got to get to the sticks. Not bad, actually, from Bello. Not bad from Kelly. I can live with that effort at tackle. And see, Gavin got past the sticks. The problem here is that Gavin got past the sticks, but then he's got to come back. You've actually got to run about 2 yards past the sticks here to do what you need to do. This is so terrible. Let's just go ahead and skip through some of this stuff. This is horrible. What in the world? Look at this. This is a total miscommunication inside. Guard and center are not sure who they're supposed to be blocking. So center snaps, steps right. Guard believes that he has a free release to the second level. Center believes that guard is going to have this this tackle, and center is coming up to the second level. And whiffed both, and that's a no-no. And Akers is really freaking good to get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10, they need to be running this ball. And that's why. Honestly, with good pressure or without the pressure, this might be a long play. But Kelly is a shell of himself. This is actually okay from Bello. Now, if you're Francois again, what does he have to do? There's room. Step up a little bit before you make this throw. Instead of trying to make it before he gets there, step up a little bit, and he can get enough on that. You're in better shape. He also, I think, had a crosser. That was a better throw there, but it's a conspiracy of errors. They just got to play better. And we're going to get to the half here, and then I'm going to cut this this feed. I don't think anybody wants to watch the second half here. Better job by Francois recognizing the tackle got blown by here. I think he was offsides. Yeah, he was offsides. He recognizes it, though. This is what he should be doing. See, notice he gets by him here. Slide up and do the same thing on other plays and throw the ball downfield, and you're better off. But he's not doing a whole lot of that right now. Little pump and go. Nice check down. Recognizes that they didn't bite. And this is just where the frustration kicks in. Bello coming back, and see, this is okay. It's an okay pass set, but he needs to slide when he sets vertically. That's okay. This is okay. That's okay. He's okay here, but I'd like to see him out just a little bit more and with the shoulders just a little bit more square. So just a hair further, foot here instead of foot here, and shoulders just a little more square. Instead, here's where the real problem is. On contact, watch his feet and watch his head. Feet stop, head goes down, he's leaning. Instead of keeping his feet moving and his head up, he ends up running him around. And Francois doesn't really have what he likes downfield. There's a lot of vertical stuff, but there's not a whole lot other than that. And he's needing to come to this check down. And by the time he gets to the check down, this is a coverage sack, really. And this, I don't like this call, actually, here, because they're just running 4 verts. And they've run it a bunch, and Syracuse is just playing over the top of it. There's not a whole lot there. You're going to have something else. And there you go. He knows he's got to get that out. Now, honestly, if you're Francois, dumping this out now ahead of the back, even with the pressure, is potentially feasible. But yeah, he's getting frustrated now. Plenty of protection. And this is why he's leading the conference in 20-plus yard throws. Why? Because there's a lot of them that he needs to make. Nice job by the offensive line. Nice fight by Nooney. First and 10. On first down, you can throw it a little bit more. Right now, because they know that you're going to throw it, they're able to bring that pressure. But generally speaking, that's when you want to throw it. Going 4 wide here. 2x2. Have a little drag. Once again, not bad. We got a little dig over top of the shallow, and he forces it to Murray here. This really should have gone to DJ. That right there, that's a bad decision. This is Nooney coming inside, and that is a bad decision. That should have been picked. That's got to go to DJ. Be patient. Let him run across. If you're going to throw anywhere, throw that to DJ Matthews. They're dropping all those guys deep. You don't have a whole lot there. Nooney is fortunate to have that get to him. Came off the edge. Once again, got pressure. Final thing. This is bad. Little fake jet that's not going to sell anybody because nobody actually is going to buy that you're running that here. You got no timeouts, so they bring the pressure off the edge. Arthur Williams not quick enough to get there on time, but Francois here does what he's supposed to do. This is what you need to see more of. He sees him off the edge, move, slide, make the throw. Not bad. This, you need to see a lot more of this from Francois. Not bad. I can live with this. So a little bit of a jet coming off the edge. Nice job helping his line out. Good job by Bello on the outside here. They got a little twist. That's how it's supposed to be. Good job. And Francois, problem is that when he does slide, he's not been real accurate off of it. So this has got to be put out in front of the receiver a little bit. I actually think also Nooney stopped running here. He's got to get across and push it across. And Francois actually probably is right there. And then finally, 11 seconds left. You should get 3 plays out of this. They got 1. Why? Because Gavin, even though you're lined up 2 yards from the sideline, you run the little comeback, and then you catch it, and somehow he keeps you in bounds. Although I'm not sure he went down before he was out of bounds, but whatever. And then you wind up not getting lined up, and that's that. I'm not going to look at the second half. It's too ugly. We've looked at a lot of different things here. I'll cover a little bit more in tomorrow's podcast, but thanks for those who are here, and for those who are watching this after the fact. Hopefully I'm able to get some more of these done each week. I might do one for each half, or I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet on all that, but definitely welcome your feedback, and thanks for your support for those of you who are watching. Obviously, Patreon subscribers, so very much appreciate that. Let me know if there are any questions you have, or if there's anything from the second half that you want me to break down. I can step in and do that at any point and post that video as well to Patreon. It doesn't have to be something that's done live. So any questions you have, any specific plays that you want broken down, let me know. All right, I'm going to go ahead and check out. Thanks again for everybody who participated and those who are watching, and I will see you again next week.